Okay, I'm going to work number 6 from Tuesday's homework, and then you can kind of see what's going on. So it says the rate of change of y with respect to x is inversely proportional to the square root of y. Okay, so the rate of change of y with respect to x, that's your derivative. That's going to be dy dx, because that represents a rate of change. That's what a derivative is, right? So we write that as dy dx. It's inversely proportional. Whenever it's inversely proportional, your constant of proportionality goes on top, and then you read what it's inversely proportional. This is going to go on the bottom, the square root of y. And so that's all we do to write it. That's writing a differential equation. The next one says solve for the differential equation in part A. Now, if you don't know any specifics about the problem, then you're going to leave C in it. And in this case, K, we don't know the constant of proportionality either because there's no more information. But we can at least solve for Y and find the equation. So we're going to basically find y equals for the equation above, okay? So what you want to do is make sure that you get, by the y, you want to get anything that has a y. So if I cross multiply, I end up with the square root of y times dy, and then I would get k times dx. Now when you're trying to find the equation or solve the differential equation, that means you want to integrate. So I'm going to take both sides and integrate. So I put an integral and an integral. Now remember that y is a square root of y. This is like the integral of y to the 1/2 dy. And then the integral of k dx. K being a constant. That's the constant of variation. Okay. So you think of your antiderivative rules. And so you're going to add 1 and then divide. So when we add 1 to a half, we get 3/2. And dividing is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So it'll be 2/3. And then y to the 3/2. Normally we'd put a plus c, but we're going to go ahead and wait and just do that on the other side. Okay, now we're integrating this side with respect to x. So when you do that, k is a constant, so that would just be kx, and then we're going to have our plus c. Now, when you're solving it, you're going to go ahead and solve for y. So I'm going to multiply all of that times the reciprocal of 2/3, which is 3/2. So it'll be y to the 3/2 equals 3/2 kx plus c. And then if I'm really trying to solve for y, I could raise both sides to the reciprocal of 3/2 because that would make it go away. Because when you raise, I'll use a different color here. When you raise this to the 2/3 and you do the same thing over here to the 2/3, power to a power rule says you multiply. Well, 2/3 times 3/2 is just 1. So that's y is going to equal 3/2 kx plus c to the 2/3. Okay, now it didn't say we had to simplify. We don't have any specifics, so we leave those variables k and c in it, and we're done.